Recording. Lovely. So hopefully that should, I'll sync this up later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start from scratch. Number one, this will give, I know the weather is bad and everything like that, will give people like Ryan and stuff to get in and catch up. So what I want you to do is, if there is a ball pen, I might write it on the board. So 3 things. Number one, create a scene where you can make it really dark, like stupid horror dark. With cubes or something, build like a little tunnel or something like that. Download from the Unity Asset Store once you've done that. So once you build your tunnel scene or something like that within Unity, just with some simple primitive shapes, download a first-person controller for me, download a torch asset, and download a battery asset. Okay, because what we're going to do is we are going to have a flashlight, put a spotlight on it, walk around, and then that will slowly fade and die. And then once you walk into a battery, it will rejuvenate or add intensity, but not. We'll do it like what's that game with the film camera?
Outlast.
Outlast. We'll do it like an Outlast where it won't be like woo full battery. It will just give a proportion back. But what we can do is we can keep them as open variables, so you can change it how you want. Okay.
Am I the only one who's like Unity takes about 1 million years to open?
I've clicked on it, but I realised I haven't clicked the right button. So here we go.
It just takes forever.
Probably got a lot on there, man.
To be fair, is it because I'm doing it with a through my external hard drive?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
It's okay. I've all set you on a task, and it's all.
Yeah. That's probably because I'm rendering the scene as well.
I'm making this go straight to OneDrive, so this is pretty slow as well, to be fair. Lovely. So those 3 things were build a scene, make it dark, and have like a tunnel effect that looks quite good. Download a first-person controller, download a torch, and download a battery. This is me going on the assumption that they are all free on the Unity Asset Store. It's a fairly good resource, so I'm going to go with yes. So now would be a good thing if I'll download ProBuilder now, but because it would just take forever. Are you still doing it?
I don't know why. Last night he just hated it.
Oh, I don't know. The license thing is really weird. I don't know about that. A bit of real basic. Tunnel. Oh. Top down with this bad boy. Some shadows.
So was it torch?
Torch, first person,
Torch, first person, battery.
battery. If you can't find one, just do prefab.
Cool.
I might just even delete this light. Ooh, really dark. it's a flashlight. Wicked. Cool. Ouch.
But there's actually a free asset pack called like Survival Game Tools,
Oh, there.
and it has a flashlight and batteries in it. If you just type in battery on the
Yeah,
Unity
that's
assets
the only
store.
thing I don't have. Let's go get the battery asset.
There are some others like cells and stuff like that. Sci-fi sort of stuff.
Yeah, but the Americans call it a flashlight, don't they?
That is true.
So oh yeah, I know I've said torch, but we might have to type in flashlight because of the Americans. Paying for it, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Like survival game tools. Bottom right.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, they're quite cool. We'll have those. I like the walkie-talkie as well. That looks like that's been the same walkie-talkie in. I can't remember any game titles anymore. It's a low poly game, and you're like a mountaineer, and your wife's just died. And it's narrative based. It's almost like a walking sim.
Fire, yes.
Fire something.
Firewatch?
Is it
But yeah,
Firewatch?
Firewatch. Yeah, I think it
Yeah,
might be Firewatch. Yeah.
you're like, yeah.
Yeah, that looks like that walkie-talkie.
In fact, a lot of that stuff does.
It's probably a classic wireframe dog. So I found all the assets that wireframes used, not wireframe, Wired Productions, no mate, used for Arcade Paradise, and it came to $42. Mad, the amount of money, 15 quid to buy it. It's insane. Yeah, the reskinning and kit bashing is real. Ryan, as you've walked in, what we're doing is this session's been recorded currently. I'm just going to see if I can open these. And what I'd like you to do is that we're doing a quick little flashlight system within Unity. So I want you to create a Unity scene. Can be something that's pre-existing. First, download a first-person character, a torch, and a battery. And then make your scene really dark with like some tunnels and stuff. So I'll give you a bit of time to do that because I'm building it from scratch as well. I'm just downloading some batteries and stuff.
Have you just grabbed your first-person controller from the standard assets?
I was going to do that, and then I found a mini FPS controller on.
What's it called?
Hang on, once this is import this, I'll show you. Because I've downloaded everything under the sun. Hang on a minute. Moving library, trying to move. Try again. Cancel. Did that import? Oh, I'll have to have a look. So if you type in FPS,
Yep.
I have got this one. Mini first-person controller. It just says this first-person controller is the most basic state of functions: move, run, loop, jump, crouch. Cool, sweet. So, did those prefabs download? Prefabs. Do I have a battery? I do. I do have a battery that has barely any material on it. What is so? Who made these? Walkie-talkie looks alright.
That looks not too bad.
That's alright.
It's just really dark. I think it's just really dark.
Is it because my light is really dark? What is this? Is it because this is dark? Or I've rotated it dark? Is it affecting real light? No, it's just weird.
I reckon if you put some light on it, I reckon it would.
Yeah, I'll maybe put a light above it in the. I'll make I'll redo the prefab.
Yeah.
Huh?
I've turned direction light on everything. It's still light.
So on my directional light is on. What I've done is you need to rotate it because it's essentially the sun.
I've got
But I've potentially done it
Oh.
too.
That's how mine's come out.
Jeez, about.
Oh, that's a battery. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that is. Look at that. I don't know why mine's gone weird.
Oh, I actually need to build like miniature level thing.
Wicked, and I can fit through the tunnel that I built as well. Lovely. That's quite good actually. Better than the Unity one. That's why I'm not a YouTuber anymore. Because I just say everything's better than the Unity version. Cool. Right, I'll give you 5 more minutes to get some kind of dark level together with a torch and a battery. As an extra added bonus, what you could do for me is add the flashlight and parent it with the first-person controller or your player. Make it look like he's holding something, or holding the torch. Where's that flashlight? Cool. So that's. Lovely, 2 more minutes. Okay.
Attach the torch to first person control.
Yes, please. Cool. Right, lovely. So if you have your flashlight, if you're American, to your first person controller, that you can see on my screen here. So I've got my scene up the top here and my game view down here. I'm going to make it darker in a second because we need to add the light. So what we're going to do on the actual flashlight itself, we can right click and go to light, sorry, I couldn't see it because we went blind. And then go to spotlight. And then what we can do, it will parent itself with the flashlight. I just call it torch or the light itself. Put it light, that's fine. And then I'm going to rotate this. I'm going to line this up as best as I can, like it's coming out of the torch. That looks pretty good. Let's just change the angle. There we go. Lovely, so something like that, you can clearly see that I have a torch and it's parented onto my flashlight. It's quite white, so I might just give it an off-white, give it a bit of a yellow tinge. This is where I might turn my light down as well and rotate my world. Oh yeah, phasmophobia, baby. Don't forget I'll record these. Oh. So I'm just going to check that this works with everything. Oh, I should have really parented it with my camera, but we can do that later. Yeah, this works. This is fine. As you can see, I'm clipping with the camera because I can move my head camera on my head bob, and it's kind of going with it, which is a little annoying, but
Oh yeah, that one's multiplier. Just parented it to the.
yeah, parent to the camera and it'll work a bit better.
Oh, God, yeah, that's
Cool. Let's just double check this. Oh yeah, there we go. It's not the best flashlight ever, but there we go, lovely. Might just quickly make it a bit, that light a bit more range. There we go. Cool, lovely. So once we have got that all lovely and working, it doesn't matter. I was going to say make it a prefab, but we'll make the battery a prefab. I'm not going to worry about this. If this is something you are going to implement, obviously you would just upgrade the prefab of the first-person controller, but I'm not actually going to make this my game or anything like that. So I'm not going to override it for now, just so I can pick it apart later. So we need a scripts folder. It's only 2 scripts that we're going to have here. And I'm going to call this torch system. You can call it flashlight system if you want to keep with the Americans. Oh, it's actually connected this time. Look, Visual Studio. That's the first. It's our first time ever. Can everybody see that on the board? Oh, go away. Lovely. Okay, so with our torch system, we're initially going to make the torch fade and die off. Okay, so the way we could do that, and the way that I built this morning, was I looked at the light itself, and there's 2 kind of things that kind of make up this kind of light: the spot angle and the range, or maybe probably more the angle, and the intensity. So maybe the intensity is at 1. I could probably pop that up a bit to, like, just say 2 because it's quite dark. So we've got our intensity and we've got our kind of our angle. So they're the 2 things I'm going to call up within our script, and you'll be able to see when I call it up from the game object, and when I call up the intensity and I call up the angle. So what would be actually quite good while we're here is going to add the component of torch system to the light. Okay, so we're adding the torch system to the light. The flashlight itself is almost like just a placeholder to make it look Phasmophobia, or every single horror game on itch. Cool, lovely. So I've got that added on. So we need to decrease our angles, and we need to decrease our light. Okay. So first off, we're going to call them just public floats. So public float, we're going to call this decrease light. Yeah, I was going to say intensity because that's maybe the actual name of it, but I'm going to stay away from that for now because we're actually going to call up intensity within the script anyway because it's a component of light. So at the moment, because if we look at my light here, the intensity is only 2. So even if it decreased by like integers of 1, it would go 1, then 0, and then be dead straight away. So probably the best way, or for a slower fade, is to say 0.2 F. I don't know. That could work, something like that, or 0.1, something like that. Depends how long you want the battery to work throughout your game. So we'll go with 0.2 F now, for now. So we're going to have a look at the angle as well. So we can call this public float as well. And we can call this angle decrease. Or decrease angle even, sorry. And that's quite a large number. Let's have a look at that. Spot angle is 57. So we can call that down by, say, just 1 for now, 1F. And then obviously we want the light to fade out, but if we have the angle go down to 0 as well, that means it's going to, torches don't really all the way, they don't fade down, do they? Fading the shape is almost like a dramatic effect of like, the battery's dying and it's fading and fading, and then it will just die. It won't go, then die. That'd be really weird. Or you could have like a flicker on it or something like that. But essentially we'd want like a minimum angle that we want. So that's what we'll create as well. So let's call that a public float. And we can call this minimum angle. And this could be, so what is it at the moment? 57, around 60, 30? 30, yeah. Let's go with 30. It's like half of that. So yeah, have a look at what you've set yours to, and then I'll maybe set that as half. These are public, they could be changed. Lovely. So the next thing we're going to do is the light itself. So this script is on the light, so we can call it up as private, and then we'll call it up in start as our get component. So this goes private light, and we can call this the torch light. Lovely. Then in start we can say that torchlight, oh there we go, I love the automatic tab, there we go, boom boom. Torchlight equals get component light. Lovely. So we are going to keep update, and we're going to write 2 methods within update, and one of them is going to be called decrease the light angle and decrease light intensity. So if we go decrease light intensity, comma, so that's our first method, and we'll write these up underneath. We can do that cool thing where we make them really quickly. Decrease light angle. Okay. So what we can do, you can highlight these, and you should be able to right click. Oh, quick actions and refactoring. Is that going to make me a method really quickly, or is it just going to break everything? Oh yeah, there we go. Extract method. There we go. So it's going to create a new method for me, hopefully. Is that going to do what I want it to do? No, it's not. Good. Come on. Right, what do I want you to do? I want you to...
Just do private void and then the name of the...
Oh yeah, there we go. Generate method, torch system. Oh, yeah, there we go. So there we go. We can actually ask it to generate a method for us. If I click on that, ta-da! And then we can right click on this. We can highlight this, right click, refactor, generate method for me, ta-da! And then we've got two methods. And then we can just, those throws, they mean nothing, essentially. It's just saying, you've created something that's got nothing in it. What have I done? Go away. And then delete that as well. Cool, so we've got a light angle and our light intensity. Let's just do our light angle first, because this would be the longer one. So we'll do the light angle first. So we need to think about that minimum angle. So we need to say if our torchlight dot spotlight, or oh no, sorry, we're on angle, aren't we? So spot angle, there we go, is less than minimum angle, or is less than or equal to minimum angle. What's going to happen? We're going to return it. So we're going to keep it the same. And then for our else, we can say torchlight dot spot angle is minus equals to our angle decrease. Whatever you put on angle decrease. Oh no, oh, we called it decrease angle. There we go. So, because these are living in update, what happens in updates?
Every 60 frames.
Every 60 frames. If decrease angle is going at 30, no, sorry, at 1f, in a second, that will be, in 1 second, that will be at 0. In 2 seconds, that will be at minus 60 for the angle. So your light will go everywhere. So what we need to do is do the classic time dot delta time. Always remember that time dot delta time is essentially real time. So it will come, that 1f will now, or is it 1f we put? That, yeah, 1f will now go down in seconds.
Cool.
We can use real time. We need to put a number against real time, but we can always use real time to decrease things like health, insanity meter, oxygen, things like that. And I think people kind of go mental where they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to add and it's going down too fast or it's not doing it. Time.delta time is the absolute saviour. Okay. Cool. And that's the hard bit. All done and dusted. So we're grabbing our torchlight, we're grabbing the angle, and we're saying minus equals 30f because that's what's in our. Oh no, sorry, not 30f. That's our minimum. That's our 1f. But we're going down 1 unit per second essentially with this. That's what we got up here. Lovely. But then we're saying once we get to our minimum angle, once it's at 30, return. So just stay. Keep it as is. Okay. You'll see return in coroutines. So once it's done that loop, stop. But then because it's a coroutine, you can do it again and then stop, then and stop. So then you're actually creating that loop. Here we're just saying return, stop, please. So get to minimum angle, stop. If we're not at minimum angle, then keep decreasing the angle at 1 per second. Lovely. Right, let's go up to our decreased intensity. With our intensity, what we are going to look at is torchlight. So we call up our light dot intensity. Oh man, math F love. I'm not going that technical. It was early in the morning that I wrote this. We're going to go minus equals our decreased light. And then again, we're going to times this by time dot delta time. So it's not going to go mental. Because it's obviously within update.
Is that bracket this torchlight?
No, that might be my cursor, sorry. So we're saying our torchlight, which is our light, we're going to grab the intensity component and we're going to say minus equals the decreased light. So we're decreasing by a factor of, I can't remember what we said, 0.2 because, oh yeah, because our intensity is only at 2, so we're going to go down quite slow. Or my intensity was at 2 anyway, your intensity might be higher, depending what you've done with your directional light. And then obviously I don't want to go down 0.2 every single frame. So I'm saying I want to put it in real time. So every second it's going to go down 0.2. So it'll be slower. So it'll be a slower fade, creating that effect of, what's that game I've forgotten the name of already?
Outlast.
Outlast. And I don't know if it happens in Phasmophobia. I've never actually played it. Cool, lovely. So once we've done this, let's have a test. Let's save this script. Back into Unity. And what I'm going to do, just to make sure this is definitely working, I'm going to make sure that I can see my intensity. My intensity is at a full 2. So I'm going to make sure I can actually see my light. And when I press play, hopefully, there we go. We can see it slowly decreasing.
Yeah, that was so quick.
So yeah, you might have to tamper. Yeah, so it's gone down really quick. Already it's gone. So 0.2, it might have to be 0.02 or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you can see, this spot angle is also going down, but it hasn't got to 30 yet. Let's make sure this gets to 30. Boom, boom. Tricky little number. Look, 29.996. I didn't ask for that. But it's, yeah, so it stopped at 30 as well with the angle. So you need to sort of figure that out. So I'll give you a minute or two just to fix those bits and bobs. But again, we made those public, so you can just change them within the inspector.
Yeah, that's a bit too slow.
Depends how intense you want your game, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
But once you're happy with it, Control S, save it. It's always good to save. Lovely. So, either create or add your battery into your scene. For now, you can make it as big as you like, just so you know that you'll collide with it. I'd probably make it quite small, just because if it's a horror game, it's quite intense. You'd want it to be quite small, but I wouldn't put it under a table or something. Let's find my... Why is this battery texture like gone mental? I'm going to retexture this. Where are you? Come here. What?
What's your oh yeah, Autodesk Interactive, yeah.
Yours Autodesk.
Yeah.
I might just turn it to standard, so if it just.
That looks like it went lighter, maybe. Or not.
What's going on with this? What is it? Let me see if I'm going to see if some of these textures are just like none. Oh, there we go.
Oh.
That's a bit better. Let's put the metallic down. Smoothness. Is that what was doing it? Yeah, it was metallic. There we go.
Huh.
Rendering mode, opaque. What's transparent do? Not a lot. Cool. All right, let's go with that. Oh, no, I'm not even going to bother. There's my battery. Done. I think might make that a little bit bigger just for now.
I've done a scale of 1 on it, and it's actually not bad size.
Oh, he's like 0.2, yeah. Boom, boom, boom. What's happened there? Oh, it's sunk into the floor, that's why. Cool, lovely. So I'm going to crack this back into the. Oh, there we go. There we go. Conspicuous battery that's just being laid there. So what we need to do on the battery is add a component. We need to add. Well, I need to add a collider. Yours might have a collider. This does not. So I'm going to add a pretty big circle collider. I think that'll probably be best for it. Circle 2D collider. Get out of town. Oh, it's sphere, isn't it? Sphere collider. There we go. Sphere collider. Let's go on to this. And we're going to go. Make sure its trigger is set. Let's make the radius bigger. There we go. So I'm going to make my collider quite big, so I'm definitely going to connect with it. I don't know how they do. How big are the batteries are in?
Outlast.
Yeah.
Smaller than that, definitely. But like,
Are they in quite well lit areas?
not always. They're always, sometimes they're up again, like obviously you can crouch and all that crap, and you can get underneath.
Mm.
Pick them up from underneath. They are almost like the size of a AA battery.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're or maybe just a touch bigger. And then they obviously have like the reload system with it, don't they? So.
Yeah, that's pretty much the size of a can of Coke there, isn't it? So, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to create a battery pickup script. And I've just called it battery pickup. And then you could add that to your battery. That's okay. So what you need to do, have you added a battery?
Oh yeah, I've just got the script working for the torch.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, any other day, just get rid of them. I don't know. Going on about.
We're gonna need to tag our player
Yes, my player is not already tagged. So yeah, make sure you tag your player as well. That's a good shout. Or just assume it's automatically tagged. That's my bad. Yeah, tag your player as player. Obviously, what the flip? Just saved that and he jumped out of. Oh, because I need to update them. There we go. Then save it. There we go. Apply all the overrides. If you save it, it throws out all the overrides. I forgot. Cool. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into. Actually, let's jump back into our torch system script. There's some things we need to add in there under update. We're going to create two public void methods that our battery script, our battery pickup script, is then going to talk to. So first one we'll go to is public void, and we'll go restore angle. We'll put the angle back as well. And the next one will be to add intensity. Okay, so it's not going to restore the light back to its original 2. It's only going to add some. So you need to keep getting batteries to add that light on. Okay. And we'll call this. Oh yeah, add light intensity. We'll make sure it's all nice and clear. Lovely. So what we can do is we are going to put a local variable within the methods here. So we can, in these brackets, you can write float, and we're going to call this restore angle. Because we're putting them in the brackets here. Number one, because that variable will constantly be within the method and can be called up by another script. Okay, we're going to do this as well in here. Float add intensity. They might fade out just because they're not being called up. As soon as you've written them, they might fade out.
So I don't really ever get like these same sort of like you get like your like methods, for example, or like whatever colour that is. Like mine never does that sort of stuff. Is that like?
So
is that a particular setting?
In extensions, if you go manage extensions, there should be something. I've already got it, but it'll be like a Unity one, and you can find that. I don't know if you type in, might be able to type in Unity. There's a modding tools one, but I've got the other one. I can have a look what I've got installed. That's not even how much recent. Let's go and look at all. Huh. Maybe it's not an extension. Maybe it is a get tools and features. Let's have a look. Digressing a little bit here, but if I, oh yeah, here it is. It's a feature, a modifying feature. Can you see that I've got Unity development, game development with Unity and game development with C++ installed?
Wait, how did you get to this?
So if you go to tools and go to get tools and features, this will pop up.
Okay. Get tools and features.
And you scroll down, you should have 2 ticks on game development for Unity. Did it load, or was it saying
It
that?
said there was it's when it's set. It's just getting things ready. I don't know.
But that's where they live anyway. You
Yeah.
can-
Sorry, something wrong. Okay.
But yeah, always get the prompts. Because yeah, half the time I just go brain dead. I'm like, what am I doing? And then yeah, prompts are really helpful.
I mean, I get obviously the prompts from Unity in that regard, but it's more just like the light or like the colours of things.
Oh, the colours of things.
are, like,
Okay.
different, yeah. It's weird.
Cool. So we are going to restore the angle. I'm going to actually call this light angle, just to make sure I know what I'm doing. Because I called them both the same things, and you could get confused. So let's call that restore light angle, just restore angle. Cool. So once we've got that, we can say call up our torch. So the torch light, we can say dot spot angle, and it can be equal to our restore angle. Oops. We can then, with our add intensity, we can say torch. So torch on all the time. Torchlight dot intensity plus equals, the other way around, plus equals add intensity. Yeah.
Would we need time as well?
No, because you want them, as soon as you hit a battery, you don't want that battery to then add the power second by second. You want it to be instant.
Yeah.
Okay. Unless you do want that. Unless you are thinking, I'm trying to think of a mechanic that would load up slower. So you can do that. It's a cool mechanic for something, definitely. I'm sure I can't think of any mechanics off the top of my head. Maybe almost like a fixing tool. You know when, like in Far Cry, you've got like the blowtorch, and it slowly fixes it, so that it could do that. So yeah, there we go. There's a mechanic. Cool, lovely. So what we're going to do is jump into save initially, and what we're going to do is these floats, can be called up. Because they're within the methods, we can call these floats up as variables within our battery script. So if you're thinking, how can we add intensity when we haven't added any numerical value to that? Well, that numerical value will come from the battery pickup script. Cool, save that, go to Unity, jump to our battery script. We should have this done by 11 o'clock, and we all can go home and have crumpets. Lovely. We fancy a crumpet. Cool. So the first thing we're going to do is these two variables that we've called up here, add intensity and restore angle, we're going to bring up. And again, we can make those public. So public float. I've already forgotten what they're called. Restore angle.
Crumpet.
Restore angle equals crumpet. Restore angle equals. I think my original was 60 or 50. I'm just going to say 60. 60F. So yeah, remember whatever your power is now, you can add on. That's for the angle. With the add intensity, we're going to add. Our add intensity is going to equal. I suppose it could be 1F actually. Every time you get one, it could add. But then if 2 is the maximum, you could do 0.5. Let's say 0.5. No, because then it's going to go. Say 1, because I need to make sure it works. we could add like 50 just to make sure it's going to work. Lovely. So once we have done that, we need to. Do we need any of these? Let me think. No. I'm going to delete those. So now we need to say on trigger enter, our good old friend, if brackets other dot game object dot tag is equal to the player. So just a quick caveat, if you're thinking, oh, hang on a minute, you would do, Kyle, when you write if, you usually do if tag equals player. Why are we doing game object? Because we're grabbing a game component. We're going to go and grab a component off the child of that object. You need to specify the game object. Otherwise, it just won't find it. It won't find the root. If we're adding things onto it, for example, if other dot tag equals player going to add, we've walked into a coin, we collect that coin, for example, that's fine because it's just that information is being sent. If we need a specific component, we need to call up the game object itself. So because our collider is going to be other, and our other is going to be other dots, we need to get right. This is where it gets a bit sticky. So I'm going to say we need to grab the light, and then we need to update the light. So that is in a child of our first person, but then in a child of there. Let's just say in children at the moment. So get component in children. Get component in children renderer. No. Just to say in children. And then we're going to call up our torch system. Oh, it has popped up. That's helpful. And then we're going to say dot restore angle with those brackets and restore angle float in there. And that's how it talks to it. I'm going to say get component in children again. We're going to say torch system again because that's the name of our script. We are then going to do the brackets. We're then going to do add light intensity and add intensity.
Nice.
I think in children will work. It will tell us if it doesn't work. And then we just need to destroy. No, we don't need to destroy other game object. We just need to destroy probably this game object. This dot game object. Cool, right, this should work. I'm just seeing if Unity will kick off about that in children, because it is in children within a child, but I don't know if you can do get component in children inside another child. So let's make
that works.
Cool, lovely. So let's click on our light. So I can see the intensity is at 2. I'm not going to worry about the angle if I know the intensity works. So my intensity is still going down. There's my battery. Boom, there we go. It's added more intense light. It dies pretty quick, but we would add a prefab. There we go, the light dies as well. Fantastic. But we know that the battery works. Cool. Have fun with that, folks. Cool, nice little mechanic, nice and light.
What was the very last bit?
The very last bit
Battery of the bit.
is destroy the game object. But I'm also going to encourage you, Alex, is to sit up the front.
Yes.
Yes.
I like some of
I know you like that corner. But you're, yeah.
What if I sit like?
You can sit in the middle, yeah. But so Gabs was sat somewhere else, then he decided to be Keen Bean. So
It's not that. I just my eyes are crap.
lovely. So both scripts are working. Both the mechanic is working. So there we go. Nice, simple little mechanic to add on to your advanced game systems. I'm going to stop the recording. I'm going to find the audio one as well. There we go.